This is the live stream for. Oh shit. No, it says it's interesting. Well, guess it's not though. Is that what it says? Yes, it's half giant. Okay. This is the live stream for drawing of a half giant. For those of you that were here yesterday, you saw me drawing an elf from my new Borderlands setting. This is going to be a half giant from the same setting. So, well, debating. So we'll see. But either way, it's half giant, and it is. This is the first one I drew, and I liked it. Sort for to a degree, it sort of hit what marks that I wanted, but I kind of wanted to deal with it again and maybe see if I could do it better. Maybe do something different. Maybe a bit more energetic. I don't know. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in. Give me a second. I'm gonna snag my coffee and be right back. So hang on. Okay. So the deal with this half giant dude. Oh, that was that a little bit of stray hair there. Oh no. Hang on a second. I literally just got done fixing that too. That's really frustrating. Anyway, all right. So here we go. So easy fix, and we're gonna go ahead and dive on in. Let me go ahead and share this out to my various social media platforms. And yeah. And while I'm doing that, if you haven't seen my Borderlands project yet, I would go ahead and check that out. And you can go check it out on my Patreon. I have a GoFundMe to help raise money for that as well. And yeah, so if you want to go check out my link tree from my personal page, if you want to do that, I do have a link tree. I think it's actually posted here in Twitch. I think that's what I've actually linked. So what I'm gonna do is this. Hang on a second. Are you? Man, Facebook is so strange anymore. The new update has made things a little more confusing. Hmm. Okay, well, let me go here. There it is. Wow, that's really buried in there. All right. So I'm gonna put the link tree in the description. Oh no. Oh my god, it's like, oh wow, that ran it over, didn't it? I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll put it up there at some point. Okay, so I have a link tree that you can actually put it in the messages. You can go to check out all my social media platforms and where I do things. Patreon, go check that out. That has a little breakdown of what the Borderlands project is and what I'm doing with it and what, but kind of like what the structure and all that stuff is, so you can check that out. And let me go post this out to the various social media stuff places. All right. I'm gonna do that. Then we'll go to my business page. Go to Instagram. There we go. Man, I got done eating some popcorn. I should have used um, a thingy. Mm, Um, floss. All right, there it is. Before I jumped on here, I was watching the new Venom movie, which is pretty good so far. I grew up with the story that is being told in this new one. So it was called Maximum Carnage when in the comic books, and it was pretty crazy, but it was cool. Man, the video game for Sega Genesis, Maximum Carnage. Wow, that was a fun one. That was a fun game. Although it was mostly a Spider-Man deal. Venom was involved, and mostly because it's his symbiote that all that stuff happened with. But it was mostly a Spider-Man story. It was mostly in the crossovers between like Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man, right? And then it kind of branched off into a few other places, but it was pretty cool. Let's see. Uh, Web of Spider-Man was always an interesting one. I always thought Spectacular was pretty cool because I liked the artist. I think it was Romita Jr. I like Romita Jr. a lot. He's awesome. That guy's one of my. Oh, there's the little chunk. That guy's really awesome. I love his work. Hey, little chipmunk. All the leaves are turning, so he's out looking for nuts, seeds, and stuff. All right, so I went to focus. Focus. You're gonna see me sucking on my teeth for a little bit. I feel like a kernel up there. That's gonna be annoying. All right, man, that's really annoying. All right. Actually, I might have you hang out for a second. Let's see. And then Twitter. Okay. Wow, cool. Man, he's pretty active down there. There's a little chipmunk lives right outside. Like my apartment looks out over this big hill. The hill's like forested, so it's like you can't until the. I'm actually kind of bummed because it's the only thing that sucks about the wintertime is that the green cover is like gone, and you can look right down into the street, which is not terrible. I mean, it's not awful. People can't really see up here at all anyway, but in the summer they totally can. But um, it's hard to in the winter, but um, lots of wildlife back there. And there's a squirrel that comes and that hangs out and eats the shit that falls out of the feeder that's up above me. So it's pretty cool. I like the and he's a cool squirrel too. He's missing like half of his right ear, so it's like he's got a little bit of a he's got a backstory, man. He's been around. Oh, come on. Why am I not seeing? There we go. we go. This is going to be a fun one. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I love the half giants. I love them so much. I like the big, bumbling, dumb monster characters. Hang on a second. This is going to drive me absolutely nuts. Hang on. All right. Got it. Thankfully, I had a little, like, I use those floss stick things. Okay. Cool. Good. Good. All right. So here we go. Let me close out all my internet crap. Now, as you can see, I did do one before. Okay. And I kind of got what I wanted. Not, I mean, it was good for what it was. I'm happy I did it. And it was part of a project I was working on. It was part of a project I was working on a little bit ago. And one of many monsters that I worked on. And I don't know what I'm going to do here. Thing about the frost giants, thing about the half giants is that mostly in the setting that I'm using, this is a Borderlands thing, by the way. So if you want to know about the Borderlands, which is what I'm releasing here soon, well, maybe soon. It's gonna take a while, but it's what I'm working on. If you want to learn more about that, go to my Patreon. You can read about it there. You can support it there by following my Patreon, by sharing my Patreon, by pledging, by doing, going and doing the GoFundMe thing and all that stuff. It's all geared toward supporting the Borderlands. But half giants are one of the like player character situations, like the races that are available that are just big people essentially, and they're mostly giants, like hill giant type of half giants, because they're the only giants that can physically have any kind of relation with a human. So frost giants, it's not really possible, and other giants, the bigger giants, the smaller giants. But they're big and they're dumb and they are violent by nature, very violent, and they tend to live up in the Borderlands in places like that. But what we're gonna do here is I don't know, I might not do a full body. I'm kind of feeling this kind of mercenary. I'm gonna do like a mercenary kind of. We're gonna do kind of like a, yeah. I want to get really. I really want to study the. I don't do this much because I'm mostly doing like big scenes, or like not even big scenes, but like a bigger drawing. So I'm gonna do this kind of. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm gonna do the kind of situation. Maybe put his arm down. Their arms are big, kind of ape-like, right? Big and they're long. They go down to the ground, right? Almost. And heads are small. Bodies big. They're surly monsters. Big chin. Little squinty eyes. Craggy faces. Long, greasy hair. That's usually dark, or looks dark because it's always greasy and wet looking. Scarred up, battle hardened, because they're usually up doing either menial labor jobs or uh, they're doing menial labor jobs, or they're doing um, what am I looking for? Mercenary work, right? They're guards. They're that kind of thing. So they're usually filling those types of roles. Not usually very accepted and openly in society. They can get away with more in the borderlands because the borderlands is where it's kind of up in it's kind of like a wild west is kind of the way I like to think about it. There are established communities there, but it's mostly wilderness. It's mostly there are lots of monsters and ancient, like ancient civilizations and like the like ruins and things like that to explore. So it's a wild place. So most people that are up there are too busy trying to survive than they are able to focus on. Like they're not gonna this a type of person like this would have a better chance of survival because there's a need for them up there, right? Like caravan guards, they're typically not hired as regular mercenaries because even then their tempers get them in trouble, right? But it's and people generally don't like their company, but um, they do find their way into service in places where underground places, right? Obviously, they're pretty um, dangerous, you know, pretty dangerous creatures. Trying to figure out, I want to give him armor on his arm. They have prognatism, right, which is the jutting jaw, like that, and the teeth that just kind of, big lip, big bottom lip, teeth that just kind of jut out. You might even have some that are sticking out there. They look like monsters. That's the thing. They are monsters. That's why they're like the elves that I was talking about yesterday, and then the dwarf people. They're not like regular player characters, mostly because they require more role playing than most people would be willing to do. Right? Like it's. I don't want to say most people. That's not fair to say. That uh, some people would not want to do. So I recommend it for people if they just don't want to like deal with the role play. That's a thing. A lot of people just don't deal with the role play. They just go kill shit. Fine, whatever. But in my personal games, I tend to be uh, a bit more there. I tend to tell people like, well, if you feel comfortable role playing and you don't mind um, the being uh, told you can't do things or whatever, right? Because that's the thing. They're big, so they don't fit in most places. They get uh, stereotyped. They get it's prejudice, right? So it's like you have to feel comfortable with that kind of thing because it's not, you know what I mean. It's not like it's difficult to find rooms and all that kind of stuff. So you do deal with those kinds of things with these guys, and his little eyeballs. He's gonna be leering down at us with those little tiny eyeballs, big old frown on his face. You know, probably give him leather armor, maybe some of those tassel things that come down like a Roman thing. Give him that kind of thing on his shoulders, and then some sort of shirt underneath. Ooh, no, kind of like a leather cuirass. And I'm gonna give him a big sword. Like that's the thing. I'm gonna give him a big sword, so he's carrying a big weapon, and might drop this down. So they require a bit more role play just for that reason, because they are one, not friendly. You know what I mean? So it's like they're in general. Not saying they can't be, but they I have restrictions on their intelligence because of their ancestry. They're typically not very smart. They're never wizards really, and are usually relegated to fiery types or clerics, something like that. surface. I don't want to get into his face. I'm trying not to cover his face with his hand is the thing here. But I want to show how big his hand is. It's his thumb there. It's going to be kind of up. I might cross it over his chin a little. Big hands. Big hands. Big hands. What do they say about guys with big hands? They wear gloves. All right, so got this dude. Yeah. See, that's better. I needed the extra room. Okay, I'll be able to make more decisions once I'm in the drawing. I'm kind of just making the notes here. There we go. Now, big old sword. So and it's gonna be going. And we'll give him a. Should I give him like a instead of that? I don't shy away from those types of things as a DM, personally, or GM or whatever, depending on the game you're playing. Mostly because it's you know how it would be. I mean, I like to create those kinds of tense situations for my players and make them think about what to do, and it creates interesting stories for sure. You know. Of course, I could do, but the sword's gonna go across his face. Though I'm just now realizing, like, if I do that, it's gonna go like that. Maybe I want to do. I'll put his other hand here, and he'll be. The sword will be what he's actually resting on. Big sword. Okay, let's try that. And I'm probably gonna do a greave of some kind, not a bracer. Big old arms. Big. Vice-like iron grip on these guys. This is just going to be a simple thing. It's not going to be like totally crazy. And he'll be wearing a leather cuirass. Definitely going to get rid of that. Let me look at. All right. Some of this stuff to figure out how it works. Some armor I need to look at. I think it's the Roman stuff that I need to look at. I think it's called Lorica, if I remember right. The tassels, or is that the armor? Here we go. God, it's so low res. Frustrating. Okay, so so okay. Kind of digging armor though. I'll open it and stick it in the thing so you can see it. Let me. If it'll let me just drag and drop. It's not a very high res image. Uh, that I apologize. Oh man, it's a son of a. Of course, maybe it'll still let me do it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, it's not very high res. Although I like what's happening here. I think I'm going to use this art. I like this a lot. And they're not going to be wearing like plate or any of that stuff because plate's really expensive to make, and they're typically going to wear something like leather or chain, something that's going to be a lot easier to uh, take on and off, right? Oh, and I've already kind of got it going here too, so this is good. Okay, cool. That means I can. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So I can. This will be the chain right here, and then we'll have the yeah, we'll give him this type of situation, and this will be the yeah, it'll come down. Or that. Yeah, I'm digging it. Okay. All right, that works. So this will come here, and we'll have the yeah, yeah. And we'll probably have it as oh good, yeah, we'll have that kind of cool. All right, I like that because it looks kind of historical, so that's kind of cool. All right, so arm's so big that it's overlapping one part of the armor, but it's yeah, not the other. Okay, and then we have the elbow. All right, I'm really focused on the face on this guy. That's what I'm really concerned about. So that's what we're focusing on mostly. And that's going to do, I'm not going to come down here too much probably. It's going to be kind of a vignette. Okay. Okay. Let's get into the ink, and we'll just start fooling around. All right. So. I'm going to give him kind of a wild eye here. Like he's just kind of scoping you out. Maybe give him a broken nose. A little bit of a sneer, those teeth. Okay, and we're gonna give him little tiny ears too. Maybe cauliflower ear, right? Because he's. But I can't wait to get to that hair though. That's my favorite. One of my favorite things about these guys. And that hair just hangs down on their head, long and black and nasty, long sloping forehead. I'm actually gonna erase this, and I'm gonna have him give him like a kind of a really far back hairline. Yeah, I like that. Last one I did, I think it was. Oh shit. You hear it raining outside. Big thick eyebrows, bushy eyebrows. I like doing things like this too, because I'm like, what kind of character would this make, right? Like that's the whole point behind this these these features, right? It's if it's really open for role play, in that it's like, what would that kind of creature become? You know, like what kind of character would that make? You know, and that's what storytelling's all about. And what is it? I think it was Kurt Vonnegut who said something about making, if you want to make a character interesting, put them through hell or something like that, right? It's like that's what I mean. Just like in life, that's what makes people who they are, is how they deal with their whatever it is they're dealing with, and that's where we really shine. You know, like when we're going through trials and things, that's what makes us, is conflict and uh, all that. So I find that really interesting. You know, as a storyteller, I think it's always good to have that kind of situation around or available, um, and to focus on those types of things. Or pay attention to that as storytelling elements. That's where the meat of stories lives. Let's see. Okay. Okay. And then that comes down here, and there's the arm. There's the little um, button, the piece that you ties the arm to the thing, to the breastplate. Or not the breastplate, but the chest piece, or the shirt. Keeps it up. Okay, now we're gonna do. It's always an interesting conundrum trying to figure out how much to actually depict armor, you know, and how much of it to leave off. How to use it as instead of just trying to depict every ring, use it as a way to create shadow and value. shirt. Which, you know, we're gonna create this value here, and I'm gonna break off as I go further in because it's that the light's hitting, so I'm gonna use the rings sparingly. That's up underneath that piece. Probably have a little bit of crease here. It'll be kind of darker there where that meets the thing. And this is where the highlight's going to be, right here. One thing I do not like about the new Photoshop is that it doesn't, it makes the cursors hard to see. And then I'm going to, he's going to have a shirt under this, which is going to be kind of bunched up and have it underneath this. So and it's not going to come as far. Yeah. Okay. And then there's the arm, the crease in the arm, and then we have those big old triceps, man. Holy crap, they're going to be giant. Well, he has a half giant. Kind of creased elbow. We're going to do this situation. Okay. Whoops. And then we're gonna I'd like to get some light under his nose without getting too crazy here. Give him a butt nose. A nice slash across his face. Maybe a cool scar. Cuts through his eyebrow. And then okay. And then I'm going to work on, I gotta get this done too. So I'm gonna do this. How I want to do that. Not like that. I do like that line though. Yeah, okay. And then that, no, just keep like that. Okay. Um, okay. Let's do the cool arm piece. This is going to be dinged the hell up. I'm going to make sure this is really pretty chewed up from years of, or just experience on the wherever it is that this guy's been fighting. Big, massive hands, just. He's got one hand on top of the other. That means thumb. Gonna be here. Big, massive, meaty thumb. And his other fingers are gonna be resting on top. Which, actually, I think what I'm gonna do, yeah, is just. Oops, shit. Hands can be tricky, so with this first to get out of the way. And do I want... Oh, he'll be, of course, seamed with scars. Is that right? I think his arm will be... I actually feel like this will be 4 more. Since we're foreshortening. Yeah, I feel like that'd be more like that. Yeah. His arm's so big it doesn't cover his full arm. It just covers the one little bit. Yeah, it makes more sense. So you get that extra. Oh yeah, and then that crease can like overlap. Actually, yeah, it's not going to be a... Yeah. Okay, and then I think what I'm going to do is have that thumb come up with this. And then, yeah, his other fingers just... give him pretty hairy hands. And there we go. Even more of a chin there for that pragmatism. Does the lip come out past the hand? Whoop. There we go. Yeah. All right. Oh god, those teeth. Gross. I love it. All right. Yeah, there we go. And then might make like a tear his armor or something. Something that never got fixed. Nah. I usually do all the chewing up of armor and whatever other thing there is at the end. We'll put his other arm down this way, but it's going to be secondary to the. I like this idea of the sword being kind of weird and like a little bit decorative, but not crazy. Let's see how do I want this to be. Seam knuckles. Chew up his fingernails a little bit. Okay, I might not even need to do that. It might confuse things a little too much. Okay. Now I am going to just create a little bit of value here, just to show on the shape, but then also to let's see, yeah, whoops. I want to do that. Trying to decide how much hatching I want to do. I don't want to do too much. Part of me just wants to do like oh, am I gonna get away with it? I'll actually kind of like that. I'll leave it like that, and then do this type of situation. Like, is this metal? Is it? Like that. Okay. There. It's a little bit more like it. Okay, so we're gonna add a heavier line here since that's where the shadow is. Show where it's on the arm. Yeah, it's all fucked up from him fighting it. think I'm gonna turn that in just a skosh. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's even all just dented too. It's not even. All right, now let's get that sword. Big giant sword. And now the thing about weapons and armor in this setting is that I set this in a kind of a 13th, at most 14th century setting. So technology wise, so armor and weapons is about like there's no plate mail, like there's no in terms of like the Maximilian plate or the full body plate. There's there's plate mail, not full plate mail in D&D certain terms, and uh, yeah. So these guys aren't wearing like a ton. Even the knights aren't wearing really heavy armor. They're wearing heavy armor for their time or this setting, but not in terms of the heaviest. And I'm trying to figure out this sword shape. I kind of like the idea. I'm gonna go get some real quick. Of course, I invent armor too, right? I mean, I invent weapons, specific to the setting, because I don't want I mean, it's fantasy, I mean, not always going to be realistic. There's magic, and things like that. So I allow for some things. I definitely allow for player character, input and all that stuff too, because there's like a dialogue back and forth if people want to play something that's not in the rules or whatever. We can find a way to compromise and do whatever. But uh, like the two-handed sword is kind of like a larger version of a more modern sword. Well, not modern, but a later sword. So the swords that exist in the setting are mostly just cruciform swords and swords like Viking swords. So and Celtic swords and things like that, and short swords from like the Romans and the Greeks. So there's that. But let's see. So I think what I'm going to do though is let's see, I want something kind of Celtic looking. So because they're up north, which is where the Viking like people. So I want something that's going to look kind of like a Viking sword. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it kind of like a Viking sword, probably wrapped, you know. Excuse me. Instead of this wood handle. And the handle is going to be interesting because it wouldn't be just like the small swords. They have this kind of situation, right? It's that like where your hand fits in this little groove, right? And it's got grip on it, and that's like a Viking sword, right? So it's this sword though. The bigger swords, the heavier swords, when you look at those, and some of them even have like the small swords, these Viking swords or the sword, um, have a tapered grip in terms of this. Right. So I kind of like that, but I don't think I like it enough. Um, and they come back up. Okay, good. So they're in the right place. His big old shoulder is going to be right here, which I should probably bring his triceps up just a little bit. There we go. And then this would probably come up and off. His back, he's kind of hunched, so his back is going to be, they're hunched back in a way to some degree. That's the giant M. Harry. Gotta get those. We'll give him a little bit of a snarl. He's got the nose is wrinkling up just a little bit. Just go, kind of curling a lip. I like that. I like the round better though. Okay. And like they don't grow these big long beards or anything. Their hair's kind of patchy, so they're not really, their hair's thin and gross. Okay, so the sword. Now that I'm done distracting myself, sometimes I distract myself like that on purpose because it loosens my mind up. Stop thinking about whatever it is I've been thinking about for 20, 30 minutes. Trying to figure out, or I'll just get a sketchbook out or a layer and just mess around with ideas. I think to just distract my brain, it's like when you think finally go, oh, damn, there it is. After you've been, when you just totally get busy doing something else. Uh, there we go. That's what I want to do. Okay. See, it needs to have like a long sword type of handle, which is going to also be kind of tapered. See, this is where we blend the ages together to make sense. So I want it. It's going to have a kind of long sword type of handle. So long swords were hand and a half swords. So they were kind of what we want here. Um, long and then long cross guard, and then kind of a shortish blade for how long the handle and the cross guard are. Fighting with a long sword was a very specific thing. Um, I've said this in other streams. Mostly when people think of a sword, like most modern fantasy confuse the sword with the long sword. They just call all swords long swords, and that's not true. Okay, and then this sucker's gonna just be a motherfucker. It's a cleaver. I mean, it's not even, it's just big. It's blunt. Like this sword's not meant for chopping. It's not meant for uh, elegant sword fighting. It's meant for like chopping horse legs, crushing skulls. It might as well be a club. I mean, it's like a claymore. Claymores were developed to break the legs of horses, not fight like a duel with. And this is where we're going to give it kind of like a Viking-like cross guard. And even blade's going to be kind of Viking-like. So it's going to be kind of it's going to be long and tapered, heavy. Okay, and with that like channel down the middle, but kind of blunt. The sword's going to be kind of blunt. Like it's not going to be a long. It's not going to be a sharp sword. This weapon is not made for, that kind of combat. Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, because you can wrap both of those big meat hammers around this thing. Get a nice tight grip on it and go to town. Smashing the shit out of things. Alright, so let's see. And we're going to wrap it. I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up. It'll have just like kind of a. I mean, he wrapped it. It's not like it's some Blickett Smith job. I mean, he might get his service or looked after if it gets broken or something. Or he needs it for whatever reason to get looked after, which probably wouldn't happen much. If it broke, it'd be broken. But let's see how much I want to do this. Yeah, it'd be all wrapped up with leather. And then or chew up his sword, of course. Maybe even ding up the one side like it used to be, whole. Now it's just he's missing a portion of it. Probably uses it like a tool. Adventures, like if this were a player character, it'd probably be using it to pry things open. Blade can't even be fully sharpened. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't even bother. sharpening it. It's just like a clump. I'm gonna give some of his armor down here. Now this is this is gonna be open. Right? Like he's gonna have it's like a with this what that Roman soldier wearing. You know, it's like chain shirt. He's pretty big on the piece of paper or this document, which is good. He's a big guy. All right. The lines I'm making are supporting the direction I want the eye to go. So it's all about making those choices. That's the armor, underside his armor, like or the place where that armhole is. Okay, yeah, big dude. Okay, so now we're gonna deal with this other arm, and probably get out of here now. Yeah, look at that. It looks pretty cool. Looks mean. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna suggest the other armor, but I'm not gonna really show it. I'm gonna make this real nice, and I'm gonna taper it off and kind of let it disappear. And suggest that it's back there. And then this, I'm going to do that. Do that. I think there will be the other, yeah. So, man, look at the guy. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, he's a nasty piece of business. I wouldn't want to meet the guy. So, I mean, obviously, you would. I mean, that's the thing too. You wouldn't, people wouldn't be totally, that's the thing. You go into a tavern, and no one's gonna be. I mean, it's mostly humans. Most people aren't gonna want to serve this dude, especially with the reputation they have, right, of being violent and surly and all that. So, it's kind of a crazy game playing one of these guys. I like them. They're one of my favorite characters in this. All right, we're gonna chew up. I'm actually gonna. Now we're gonna clean them up. A little bit. Oh, I like that happy accident. That created a cool little. Yeah, nice. All right. Oh, I can't believe I just quit. Um, what's his face? Bob Ross. I'm not a Bob Ross fan. Yeah, I know. I'm like the only artist on the planet who doesn't like Bob Ross. Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I actually think he's a really nice guy. I think he's really cool, like cool that way. I don't like his show. Okay, start like do a few extra details here and there. At this point, it's just semantics, really. I think I could have called this a little bit ago. No. Oh, I could have. Hang on, I think I got an idea for this. Doing the under nose. Under the nose shadow is always interesting. Got to get his upper lip. There we go. Just need to define that nostril some. There we go. Still not happy with that though. There we go. It's always a give and take. Always a give and take. Okay. Hair sticking out underneath. I'm actually going to make his back more pronounced. There we go. Yeah. Like this dude's got to be massive. His head needed to look small in comparison to his arms. And yeah. And that bicep needs to really stick past this thing. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. And then create some shadow or some thing here. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna chew that up a little bit. Okay. Actually, what we'll do is, there we go. There we go. And then yeah. There we go. Yeah. Dude is so massive, man. All right, his gut. Actually, I'm gonna have his gut come down here. I don't want his gut that big. I think we'll do that, and we'll have. Yeah, I think it's good because I think I kind of want. There you go. Like that's his stomachal region. There you go. Like his chest is broad, but his guts maybe a little narrow. Like he's strong. Like this guy's stronger than he is heavy. And I want his eye to be the center of focus, so I'm gonna make it center focus. Oh, dude, we're gonna cover part of his ear here. Or chop it off. That he got part of his ear bitten off in a fight with Mike Tyson. Or a bear or some monster or something, I don't know. I don't have bugbears in the Borderlands, but you can put them in there if you want when you like when I release it. It's supposed to be like, kind of GM friendly in terms of, how you run it, but I don't have like a far hairline. But there aren't like standard D&D monsters in it. There are to some degree, but they're not all. It's mostly a bunch of homebrew stuff. I like using standard monsters, but I'm not one of those guys who, even when I use them, I'm the kind of guy that changes them from the book. So, because I know to look at the book, and I want people to be surprised. I've gotten blowback from people about that before. I'm like, dude, it's a game, man. Who the fuck cares? It's like it's a game. Like, so you can't look it up and get meta information about the monster. You'd rather I give you something that you know rather than be creative. Sorry, pal. That's the fun of the game. Surprise. Unique shit. That's the fun of being a game master and a player too, is being creative. If everything's the same as everything that everybody hands to you, then life's pretty fucking boring. I'm not gonna get that happy in there. I'm gonna keep it pretty. I don't want to get too noodly. I just want his eye to really pop. Okay. Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, rock and roll. Well, that's a pretty cool half troll, man. I almost said half ogre. Half troll. He looks very ogre-like, doesn't he? I gotta make sure those teeth are really. Yeah, son. Dude needs to go to the dentist. There we go. I like the idea that he's just kind of. Oh god, like they just stick out on one side. Oh yeah, we're gonna give him like a nice big cut on his chin. Okay, and then I do kind of want to show some dark under that lip. Maybe his lips are a little mashed, like that scar comes up over his lip too. Like he's been in a fight, so his lips are a little fucked up. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then gotta be careful about this. This is a delicate situation right here. I don't want to overwork it, and I'm dangerously close. I should stop. I should stop because I'm going to overwork it. I don't want to do that. So there we go. I'm going to pick out a few choice places, and then I'm going to call it quits. Making it really busy, and there we go. Yeah, quit that. Need to stop that. Wow, you can really hear the rain coming down. There we go. I think that's enough. I'm gonna kind of pick out his shoulder a little bit more because he does have big, massive shoulders. I don't want to tell that story. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna call that done because I don't want to overwork it. It's dangerously close. Yeah. That was good. Okay. Hey. There we go. Knew something was wrong there. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So there he is, and then I'm going to. I just got dizzy. Let's see. Herbie Hancock right down here. Okay, so there you go. One half giant surly son of a bitch, ready to go do some mercenary work. Maybe you get hired by PCs as a hireling. That would be kind of cool. Especially since they eat so much, they'll be pretty expensive to keep in your employ. But you know, if you can handle the mood swings and the general social dislike of these dudes, the stigma, you know, yeah, why not? You know, people will think twice about messing your party. There we go. That's enough. Otherwise, I'm going to distract. There we go. From the face. All right. Cool. So thanks, guys. I appreciate hanging out. It was a lot of fun. I love these guys. They seriously are like favorite. And I really appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a good night. And enjoy whatever happens to you this evening. I don't know what you guys have going on, but I hope it's good. And I'm going to finish watching the second Venom. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you later, and I'll get another stream soon. All right. Take it easy.